tuned into me. You watching Gully TV. I got a very special guest, a fellow content creator who has been blazing hot all week long. You lit this motherfucker up. You lit this motherfucker up. I was on the ropes, kind of like watching from afar, but this shit started. This started to sizzle.
Mhm.
I appreciate you for taking some time to come upon my platform, and let's get off into it. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
My name is Dogface Calderon. Um, I hail from the mighty city of Detroit via Pontiac, Michigan. Um, I'm in all things entertainment. Uh, that's just on the surface of it. That's my night job. My day job, I own several businesses that I don't talk about because I don't want my businesses to be prejudiced by the antics of Dogface. So I'm all around serial entrepreneur, bro. I've been in the music business for over a decade now. Prior to me I came home. I did 17 straight years in prison. I came home in 2009. I jumped into the music business in 2010, and I've been going full blast strong ever since.
Okay, you answered quite a few of my questions in your introduction. I'm gonna
Right.
go back to. I want to definitely know what caused you to serve 17 years in the penitentiary, if you don't mind me asking.
Armed robbery, extortion. I fell into a state indictment in Michigan. If anybody knows anything about Michigan, just the history, uh, when the governor when John Engler took office, he enacted uh, several forms of pieces of legislation that made Michigan have the toughest laws in the country, even tougher than federal penalties.
Right.
And so, if you got convicted of anything that had anything to do with drugs, we had for example, we had a 650 conspiracy law where you didn't have to get caught with 650, but if they determined that you were in possession at any point in time of up to 650 grams of cocaine, that would subject you to a life sentence in prison. So the crew I was with a squad of guys. I don't like to talk about it much, but there's nothing I can't talk about. I don't talk about it because I don't want to glorify it. But this is my second life, bro. My first life, I was a very disagreeable individual. I'll put it like that. You hear me? So it's everything from armed robbery to extortion, because we was extorting niggas, making
Hmm.
niggas armed robbery, extortion, money laundering, assaults. It was a 36 count indictment, and they came with 11 additional accounts on the indictment as well.
Okay. Damn. All right. One of the questions you already answered it briefly in your introduction, as far as you being from Pontiac, Michigan. But
Hmm.
one of the things that they choose to, people in the comments, the audience, they
Hmm.
choose to pick and choose when they appreciate the services of content creators. They like to
Right.
say, they like to feel that, okay, you can cover this and you cool
Right.
and shit, but if you cover other things, all of a sudden you're not from here and shit like
Hmm.
that. And
Right.
I seen that below some of the they actually put it in my video, pertaining to you and pertaining to myself. Me personally, my resume in regards to Detroit, I covered Aretha Franklin's funeral. I had a cameo appearance in Icewear Vezo's D-Rack video. I covered Icewear Vezo's album release party. I interviewed Herschel Castleberry on his channel, who was Aaliyah's bodyguard.
Hmm.
I covered Savior's Day twice.
Right.
I was born and raised in the Nation of Islam. As
Right.
far as hip hop, I interviewed Marquise Porter, Stretch Money, Obi Trice. I went on a three-city tour with Obi Trice. Royce the 5'9", I interviewed him at Heaven and Hell Studios, and I interviewed Bang Gang Mazo and Moan. So that's my resume, in terms of the Motor City. And I also was recently in a movie with KDZ.
Hmm.
As far as you, could you give these people some details as far as your connection to Detroit? You said you was from Pontiac initially,
Yeah.
and how you established yourself as a voice who could cover something of the magnitude of a Street Lord's feud.
Well, okay. Let me try. I'm not necessarily aggravated by the questioning of. I mean, it's to me, to people who know me, the only person who would question whether I'm qualified to cover anything or all things Detroit would be somebody who doesn't know me. would be somebody who isn't a student of what's been happening in the city of Detroit for the last 10, 15 years. Would be somebody who lacks a genuine understanding of how journalism vis-a-vis blogging, vis-a-vis podcasting goes. I was born and raised in the city of Pontiac, Michigan, which is roughly about 20 minutes north of Detroit. I moved to Detroit in 1986. And when I say moved, I didn't move with my parents. I moved on my own in the streets. I actually left Pontiac on the run because of a bunch of shit I had gotten into. And my god brother, who is from the east side of Detroit, I came down. I've been coming back and forth to Detroit my entire life, bro. You know what I'm saying? But I'm from Pontiac, right? And I don't know what people think about Pontiac or know about Pontiac, but bro, let me tell you something, man. In any ghetto across the country, you can get your issue, no matter where you're from. Because the one thing that black people have in common is that we fucking black people, bro. The one thing that black people have in common is crack, heroin, pills, lean, guns, readily available in all black communities across the country. I don't give a fuck if you're from Maine, Rhode Island, Baltimore, Minnesota, or Iowa, motherfucker. It's all the same shit. Long
Right.
story short, I came to Detroit in March of 1986, east side of Detroit, the Van Dyke and Harper area, to be Pacific. I migrated from the Van Dyke and Harper area to the East Warren and Van Dyke area, roughly speaking. Uh, I was 15 years old, bro. I came to Detroit and I never left. Uh, I went to the training school from Detroit. I went to the youth home from Detroit. I went to prison from Detroit. I went to prison from 4791 Fisher between Warren and Forest, which is the east side Detroit. Um, I spent 17 years in prison. I came home May 13th of 2009. I came home to Detroit, and I've been in Detroit or in the. I got a little money, so I don't have to necessarily stay in Detroit. You feel what I'm saying?
Right.
So I live on the outskirts of Detroit, and I have businesses, homes, commercial property, residential property, all over Detroit and in the metropolitan area of Detroit as well. I came home in 2009. I jumped in the music business in 2010. At first, I jumped in as a rapper. I quickly realized, in my own opinion, that I was too old. Bro, I came home. I went to prison at 21. I came home and I was then at 40. I was 38 years old. To be 39. So in my mind, like I'm talking about gators and suits. These young niggas wearing skinny jeans and wearing. They think Jordans. They think Jordans are the order of the day. You feel me?
Right.
So I quickly realized that, because I come out the streets and I always had a keen business acumen, even when I was doing something negative, right? So as I was looking around as a rapper when I first came out of the penitentiary, bro, I quickly realized that maybe it was something else I can do to get some money. Because my whole thing is I was about the money. And if rapping wasn't gonna do it for me, I didn't have time to be wasting with the shit. I believed in it, but I didn't have time to be wasting in it. So I was looking around for other things that I could do uh involved in the world of entertainment that could produce some revenue for me. So I went behind the scenes with artist management, development. Uh, I was always a marketing genius, even when I was in the street. I know how to sell dope. You hear me? So how it goes, bro? If you can sell, if you can market an illegal substance and be successful with it, right? If you can run around and robbery, which was what I was a robbery specialist. You hear me? Uh, if you can do all that shit, bro, and survive through all that shit, and if I can go to prison for 17 years and survive all that shit, bro, that I don't think there's nothing I can't do. I don't think there's no task or no business that I can't get in and be successful if I put my mind to it. So I went to the behind the scenes aspect of the music business with artist marketing, development, uh, uh, marketing, advertising, promotion, artist development, and management, bro. So I went behind the scenes and did that. I went behind the scenes with internet radio because back then, internet radio was still like something that was a new space for most people. This is 2009, 10, 11. I jumped into the internet radio. I had an internet radio show called Unleash, and then I revamped it and called it Unleash Reloaded. Uh, I'm claiming that I am the first person in the city of Detroit to have a podcast, bro.
Okay.
When you think about podcasting, how we think about it now, in a radio room style platform where you are talking about all things uh, entertainment, politics, religion, but all from the basis of a hip hop cultural standpoint, right?
Got it.
I had a show on Worldwide Core Radio. It's called Unleashed. And the reason why I differentiate my internet radio show from just an internet radio show was because I partnered up with my partner Sessions with Street Money Films, and we started to film every episode of my weekly podcast. And then we took those episodes and we put those episodes on YouTube. So when it comes to urban YouTube podcasting, I don't think there's, I know there's not anybody from the city of Detroit who was doing what you would recognize as a podcast now.
Right.
Me.
Got
No
it.
one doing it. It was me, right?
Okay.
The first time you mentioned Icewear Vezo, the first time Icewear Vezo in the Star Status music group, long before Ice Up Records hit the scene. The first time Vez was on the podcast. The first time IUR, Ice Up Records, Jetto, Webo. The first time that the original members of Star Status music group, the Green Guys, were on the podcast was on my podcast. The first time Carol Dorsey, who's BG's aunt, was ever on the podcast was on my podcast. The first time some of the biggest names in the entertainment business, in the business world, in the city of Detroit, were ever on the podcast, like Floss a Lot. The first time Floss a Lot, who's the legendary figure in Detroit's entertainment scene, was ever on the podcast, was my podcast. The
Got it.
first time Crane Never came from Hot Lava from Stretch Money fame was ever on the podcast, was my podcast. And that was in 2012. The
Got it.
Word Podcast
You breaking up.
that I knew at that particular point in time was the Howard Stern Show
Okay.
or Rush Limbaugh Show. It was the only podcast that I was aware of back in 2011 and 12. So
Right.
I moved to Detroit from the east side of the Pontiac. The east side of the Pontiac is the same shit as the east side of Detroit, bro. I moved to Detroit. I never went back to Pontiac except to visit my family members.
Yeah.
I'm
You black,
frozen my end. I'm frozen your end.
you blacked out. I can still hear you. You wanna hop out and tap back in?
Yeah, I got you. Hold up.
The same link will bring you right back in here. Okay. Right.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah, so
Okay.
I've been in Detroit, east side of Detroit primarily, bro. But I came to Detroit to sell dope, bro. I came
Yeah.
to Detroit to get it in, and that's what I did when I came down here, bro. So I'm 52 years old right now.
Got it.
So the vast majority of my adult experience, even before I became adult, was on the streets of the east side of Detroit, bro. So when I hear people chiming in about my credentials, uh, I came down here in 1986. Maserati Rick was still alive. White boy Rick
That's
is
what I
still running
wanted to
around.
ask you about. What
Man,
what
come
was the
on,
East
bro.
Side like in 1986? Before we go off into this rap shit,
Yeah.
tell us give me the goods. Give me the
Well,
goods.
shit, bro. I came down here in the middle of the drug war, my nigga. You hear me?
That's what I thought.
When I came down in 1986, for anybody who tuned in, it was still the Tangerine Room. It was still the Viality. It was still top of the city. It was the Dancery. It was UBQ. It was the 800. It was Rados. It was Timbos. These are all legendary East Side speakeasy type, after hour type, club type joints. You feel me?
Right.
So when I came down here, it was that. Maserati Rick was still alive. Demetrius Holloway was still alive. Best Friends was popping. YBI was still popping. The A-Team was still popping. The Hyde Park Wrecking Crew was still popping. Mactown 2020 was still popping. Big Man, Little Man Curry was still popping. White Boy Rick was still running around. The Chambers still, they were still around. So I came down here in the middle of all that, and it wasn't easy. It wasn't like it is now where somebody can pick up some dope and go where they want to go. Wasn't none of that shit, bro. And it was territories. It was rules and regulations to the streets. It was rules and regulations to the game that you had to abide by.
Right.
Least if you didn't, you're gonna find yourself floating in the river. And the river, the way the river walk look right now in Detroit, it didn't look like that back then. Back then, because Detroit's riverfront, it wasn't developed like you see in Houston or Miami or fucking some parts of California. The Detroit riverfront was like the dark and dismal crypt. You ain't go there to walk around. You can get killed through in the motherfucking river back in 1986. You know what I'm saying? So it was fucked up back then, bro. So I came down here at 15 years old, jumped right into the mix. And the people, by the time I went to prison, bro, I had people who I saw growing up with in Pontiac, and I had people who I saw who I formed relationships and bonds with and kinships with in Detroit. You couldn't tell a motherfucker from the east side of Detroit that I was from Pontiac because they're like, how? Because I went to school. I started going to high school when I came down here,
Right.
right? When I came down here, I started going to Kettering. I went to Kettering. I went to King. So you got motherfuckers who've been knowing me since I was 15 years old, bro. So when I make it to prison, I see them when I'm in prison and I'm 30, I'm 31, 32. We was thugging in the streets. You can't tell these motherfuckers that I wasn't from Detroit. You know what I'm saying? So I used to have people who knew me from Pontiac, prior to moving to Detroit, who would argue with niggas from the city, like that nigga from Pontiac originally. And they're like, how? Nigga, I grew up we shooting and robbing and killing and stealing with this nigga. Nah, he ain't. And I had to tell motherfuckers from Detroit, yeah, bro, I was born in Pontiac. Like, what? You born from Pontiac? What? When is that? So it's one of
Right.
them kind of things. You feel me?
Okay. Let's get to this topic at hand. Shout out to Trap Talk Blue. I just had to say that. I like the video that he put
Yeah,
out.
good guy. Good
Yeah.
guy. Wano, Blue. Yeah, all them boys in the city, man, who really pushing the line on the podcast YouTube space, man. I want to salute to everybody, man. Before we even get started, shameless plug to the Forum magazine, like you say, Trap Talk Blue, Wano, uh my man up front, everybody who really trying to like push the line, Kid L, I want to shout out to everybody, man. So I'm ready to get into it. What we on?
Okay. Get it from 1986 to the present briefly. Could you get a viewers a timeline of Detroit hip hop?
Bro, Detroit hip hop. When I came to Detroit, bro, uh, I was off. See it, man. When I came to Detroit, a New York hip hop fan, bro. I was a KRS-One fan. In 1986, Detroit's hip hop scene was still really in an infant stage. You feel me? Uh, my first love in terms of hip hop artistry from Detroit artists came from Austin Dre and the Hardcore Committee. It was really my first look at, you know what I'm saying, and my Austin Dre really gave me appreciation for, and that was later though. That was later, like 88, 89 type joint, right? But Austin Dre and the Hardcore Committee, and then I fell in love with Detroit Most Wanted, Mossy Ski, MC Lee, DJ
Yeah.
Duncan Hines,
Yeah.
right? And then you go into the AWOLs, you go into the Smileys, uh, you go into all of the people who preceded the Eminems and all that. And then I think the first person from Detroit who I really, really kind of kind of like really, really was gravitating towards was Eshawn. Eshawn was like outside of everybody who I just named. When it came to like street shit, Eshawn was it for me. The Eshawn that people know now with the horrorcore rap and the acid rap and the all that shit. That's not the Eshawn that I knew, bro. I knew the running out the crack house Eshawn. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? My Nine Rhymes Eshawn, his first 1-2 projects, really? That Eshawn is dope, ho. Old wicked shit Eshawn. That was the Eshawn I fell in love with. That was the Eshawn that really kind of like talked about everything that you saw in the streets. So Eshawn is really, when it comes to not hip hop, but just like raw gutter street shit, crack, heroin, death, murder shit. It was Eshawn for me. Eshawn
Okay.
he told the streets of the city of Detroit and how it really operated and how it really go. Esham told those stories first, bro.
So he's somebody that the Street Lords, Tough Tone, and all of them guys, Wipeout, would probably have been inspired by.
They most certainly was. And not only was he one of the dopest rappers, one of the most influential rappers coming from the east side of Detroit, but you know, Esham, you know, he made his own beats too. So he was like a dual double threat, bro. You know what I'm saying? So Esham was that nigga, period. You know what I'm saying? And he was unrelenting and he was unapologetic about everything that he did. You feel me?
Right. Okay. Now to this topic at hand. What set you off? What,
Hmm.
what set you off, man? Because it got real volatile, man. I started to watch, and you became more passionate, and you kept adding. Uh, you kept adding fuel. Like you popped out with Dre Carter, and like what took you to
Mm.
the point where it seemed like you became determined to get your point across? Was this something that aggravated you from Jesse James? That's what it seemed like. Who aggravated you first? Is that correct?
No, bro. So first of all, bro, um, I was going about my daily routine of doing what Dogface does. You feel me? I'm a podcaster. I'm a certified YouTuber. I've been interviewing. I've had an interview platform for over a decade now. Uh, 14, 15 years now. So what I'm doing now, and me being boisterous and me being uh, how I speak and how I talk. If you ask anybody who knows me, man, this is me. This is not an act. It's not a routine. It's not a character that I'm jumping in for the purposes of trying to influence or inspire somebody or to convince somebody to pay attention to me. I'm not screaming and yelling at the top of my lungs. The same way I talk on YouTube is the same way I talk in real life. You feel me?
Right,
That's one. Number two, as it specifically relates to what set me off, it's a combination of things, bro. But as it I'm just so it's a combination of things in the city of Detroit that kind of like feed into me just being aggravated in a sense, and me trying to use my platform in another sense to try to change the overall narrative about what motherfuckers think Detroit is and who they think represent Detroit, bro. So a lot of these motherfuckers in Detroit who are claiming OG status, who really did nothing for Detroit except line their own pockets, bro. There are people who are considered legendary because they came first, not because they did anything that moved the culture of Detroit's hip hop scene forward outside of what they was doing. When you talk about legendary groups like the Street Lords, Rock Bottom, and the Eastside Cheddar Boys, bro, that was the beginning of a new era, right? So it was like a changing of the guard from the hip hop origins of the city of Detroit, where we just talk about the whole hip hop backpack type shit. Outside of what I said about Esham and Detroit Most Wanted, right? The Street Lords and the dope and East Side Cheddar Boys and Rock Bottom, they brought the street element to the surface on a local and dare I say regional level, right?
right,
They didn't have much national exposure. When you talk about national exposure for them, it was really like people who were from Detroit who had migrated somewhere else and brought that music with them. But on a national scale, you didn't have much success. Dare I say any success? But locally, in Detroit, and what we call the chitlin circuit, from Minnesota to the Indianas to the Ohio's to the Kentucky's to the Tennessees, motherfuckers who lived in the Midwest and the northern tip of what we call the Mason Dixon line, they were familiar with Detroit rap, bro, but they didn't have much national success. And it wasn't because they didn't have the chops to do it. It was because, a lot of them motherfuckers, they had money. So so Russell Simmons couldn't come to them with $1 million or 500,000 because the one thing about the most successful rappers in the city of Detroit is that they was real street niggas, bro. They wasn't just rappers. They wasn't soldier boys, bro. It was really just street niggas who just use hip hop to talk about their lifestyle. You feel me? So to answer your question, what set me off was it was just the misunderstanding of what the current influences on the success of Detroit artists now who are Detroit artists who are experiencing worldwide success now, I just saw just a misrepresentation of what the origins of these guys' success was. It's one thing to say that I grew up listening to Street Lords, Blase Bleak. It's another thing to say that my success is directly attributed to they think that just because somebody came first, that that person who came before them is responsible. Now we can say they're trailblazers. That's true, right?
Right.
We can say that they are your forerunners and your predecessors. That's true, but that doesn't mean that just because the Street Lords came first, or Rock Bottom came first, or the Eastside Cheddar Boys came first. That doesn't mean that they are directly responsible for the success of the artists from Detroit today. That ain't what the fuck that means. But you have motherfuckers who are just novices of the world of entertainment who don't know how to differentiate the two and don't know how to separate. I was influenced by this because I grew up liking it. And once I got into my own space, that is what really led to my success here. A plus B doesn't always equal C. I could have been a fan of the Street Lords, Rock Bottom, and the Eastside Cheddar Boys, but that doesn't mean that they are responsible for the success of me as artist A. And it doesn't mean that whatever success that those three groups that I named had, I don't mean that their success, as large as it may seem to you if you're from Detroit, I don't mean that their success has anything to do with all the work, effort, and energy that was put into the current crop of Detroit superstars, bro. And it's almost an insult to the people who are behind Icewood Vezo, the people who are behind V's, the people who are behind T Grizzly, the people who are behind Babyface Ray, the people who are behind Sada Baby, the people who are behind Cash Kid, the people who are behind uh fucking Dave's Loaf originally. People who were behind fucking Cash Dive. There were people who actually put money, effort, energy, and they put resources behind these artists to turn them into what you see now.
Right.
And none of those people are connected in any way to the Street Lords, the East Side Cheddar Boys, or Rock Bottom. Being
Right.
inspired by somebody, I was inspired by Malcolm X. I didn't join the Nation of Islam and become a member of the Nation of Islam Prison Study Group where I stood tall for 17 summers because of Malcolm X. He was the inspiration, but I was really influenced by the brothers who introduced me to the teachers in Michigan Reformatory, aka Gladiator School, in the Michigan Department of Corrections in Ionia. I was influenced by Vince X. I was inspired and influenced by all the men who were walking tall on the yard, Salam, and all the brothers who helped Robert X, Jameer X, Sharif, the brother Sharif who helped introduce me to the teachings, the brother Malaysia X who helped introduce me to the teachings, right? That's who I was influenced by. Was I
Right.
inspired by Malcolm? Was I inspired by the minister? Yes. Did I grow to love the teachings? Yes. But I was inspired by the people who I saw standing tall on the yard. Wasn't fucking with no sissies. Wasn't on yard using dope. Wasn't doing punk shit in prison.
Take your time.
Let me jump out and jump back in, bro.
Okay, go ahead. Subscribe to the channel, hit the bell so you get the notifications. I'm live this afternoon with Dawgface Calderon from Dawgface TV. He's here to fill in some blanks in regards to this feud that we've been watching the last week, as well as some history on Detroit hip hop. I read off my credentials pertaining to Detroit at the beginning of this telecast. I want to add to that I interviewed Kwame Kilpatrick, the former mayor of Detroit. From prison, I interviewed him. Let's go.
Right, so that's what I was influenced by. When you think about this current generation of hip hop stars in the city of Detroit, let's just start at Doughboys Cash Out, right? And let's start with Doughboys Cash Out for the West Side, because Detroit is divided in two different sides. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Uh, and especially back then when I was coming up to Detroit, it was noticeable differences between when you in 1986. There were noticeable differences between the East Side and West Side of Detroit, bro. If you were a East Sider, bro, you were raised and conditioned to believe that everything on the West Side was soft. I'm gonna tell you the truth, bro. Niggas my age in the city of Detroit, bro, they grew up believing West Side was soft. They didn't learn that the West Side wasn't silver spoon, mama boys, two-parent household ass niggas, right? They didn't learn that shit until they actually got older and started going to the West Side, to the Westmorelands, to the Dexters, the Linwoods, and shit like that. So they were able to
Right.
see it for themselves. Like, these niggas get busy just like we get busy, if not worse. So I came to Detroit '86 where it was East Side, West Side. It was East Side crews, it was West Side crews. Then you had hybrid crews. You had like the YBI was primarily a West Side crew, but you had East Side niggas was YBI, but YBI is known as the West Side crew. You had East Side niggas who was down with YBI as well. You had the best friends who was East Side representatives, Rockin' Reg, Boogaloo, Ghost, all that squad, right? That's an East Side crew, right? You had the Chambers, East Side crew, right? You had a bunch of crews who are East Side based in origin, but they had West Side members and members from out of state, out of town, all that shit. You know what I'm saying? Detroit invented going OT, bro. Period. Simple as that. If you trace motherfuckers who in the game, whether it was crack, heroin, cocaine powder,
Right.
besides the cartel, Detroit invented going OT, taking over cities, taking over whole states. That was Detroit. So I came to Detroit at a time where it was serious, bro. It wasn't no, you just do what the fuck you wanted to do. It's protocol. But I mean, I ain't even go off on that tangent. You know, I'm excitable like that, right?
No,
But
you good.
so when it came to what set me off, let's just start right now with the whole Jesse James thing, bro. Jesse James made a post, and we're gonna go in chronological order, something that these stupid ass niggas have a hard time doing because they some DPS ass niggas, and they didn't teach them niggas how to look at things from a analytical standpoint with the stupid
Right.
motherfuckers, right? So here's chronological order. Jesse James made a post with a long ass 3-4 minute soliloquy of him expressing his interest in being interviewed on podcast, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
He gave a whole laundry list of things that he was willing to talk about. Most notably, Blade Icewood, Wipeout, Street Lords. Blade Icewood was the chief representation of that. So when you look at
Right.
the origins of the Street Lords, bro, let's get one thing straight too. The Street Lords is a West Side crew by origin. Yacht, Brick, right? It was founded by straight stumped down West Side gangsters. Whether you like them, don't like them. That's what it was founded at. So the Street Lords in Detroit was known as a West Side crew, a West Side rap crew, right? So they incorporated Juan and Blade after the group was already in motion,
Got
right?
it.
Juan is not from the West Side. Blade Icewood is not from the West Side. Blade he didn't move, and Juan didn't move to the motherfucking West Side at 28 years old. They East Side niggas who migrated to the West Side to fuck with who they want to fuck with, like most niggas from Detroit do. You got a bunch of motherfuckers from East Side of town. You got niggas from the East Side. We looked at the West Side like a playground back in '86, '87. It was a
Right.
whole different world to us, or so we thought, until we got into the dismal crypts of the belly of that motherfucker. You feel me? So the Street Lords, for those of you who don't know, is a West Side origin rap crew. Juan and Blade Icewood, two of the most recognizable members of it, they East Siders. They East 7 Mile niggas. So they incorporated themselves into a West Side crew that already existed. The Street Lords already existed before Juan came. The Street Lords already existed before Blade came, bro. They didn't create that. It already existed. Let's make sure
Okay.
we're on the same page from a
Yeah.
historical standpoint.
We
A lot,
needed that.
a
Let's
lot of niggas
go.
don't know that. You feel me? So
Right.
listen, Jesse James went on Instagram and said, I'm interested in being interviewed. And he gave a whole list of things that were some of the most controversial things that you can, if you know about Detroit hip hop, there's nothing more controversial or more sensitive of a subject than what happened between the Street Lords and the Eastside Cheddar Boys. Brother, the three biggest groups in Detroit at that time, Street Lords was number one. Not because they were better rappers, they were number one because they were the most flossy, braggadocious nigga, that shit talkingest motherfuckers as you could ever motherfucker want to meet. You hear me? And they had a bag behind them. Everybody in there, motherfucker, they all bag pushers. They was all get money niggas to a
Right.
lesser or greater extent. So
Yeah.
that's what made them interesting, right? Not saying nobody else was going to get no money, but they focus was get money. You hear me? You had Rock Bottom, bunch of get money motherfuckers led by my man Rock. Get money motherfuckers, right? At the top of the totem pole, especially, right? The East Side Cheddar Boys, the East Side and West Side, bro, listen. The East Side is known for the guerrilla tactics, strong arm, black ugly ass niggas with holes with bullet wounds and stab wounds all on them. That's the knock. If you know from Detroit, we joke with each other about that. The West Side niggas are silver spoon ass niggas got a mommy and daddy who got a good job. And the East
Right.
Side niggas, mamas on heroin, crack, and niggas playing shooting basketball through a milk crate. All the stereotypical shit.
Right.
We joke with each other about, oh nigga, you grew up, oh nigga, yo mama, y'all ain't got no grass in y'all front yard. West Side niggas tell East Side niggas, nigga, y'all got dirt, you ain't seen no grass until you came to the West Side.
Right.
Right? So listen, bro. Um, when it comes to just that whole era, Jesse James said, I'm willing to talk about, he knew he had to come with something because he don't have no career right now. So he knew he had to come with, I'm willing to talk about the most controversial shit that everybody want to know. Niggas 60 want to know how that whole beef started. Niggas 65 years old want to know what really happened to Blade. What
Yeah.
really happened to Wipeout? What the origins of the beef between the East Side Cheddar Boys and the Street Lords really was. Because nobody can really put their finger on the pulse of what really happened that drove a division between the two crews who were once all cool. You know why? Because it was omerta when it came to that. Because the niggas wasn't just rappers, bro. The niggas was
Street.
gangsters, street
Yeah.
niggas.
Right.
You can get your issue fucking with either crew. You fuck with Rock Bottom, you can get your issue. You fuck with the Cheddar Boys, East Side version of Cheddar Boys, you can get your motherfucking issue. You fuck with the Street Lords, you can get your issue. So all three separate, the most powerful groups, rap groups, you can get your issue fucking with any of them. Period. Get your ass lost and found fucking with any of them. So the most historic stories in Detroit, bro, is not Eminem.
No.
It has nothing to do with Eminem. It has nothing to do with Big Sean. It has nothing to do with none of the commercially successful artists, bro.
Nah, this the real
It's
Detroit.
the real Detroit. So everybody want to know these stories. But everybody know that nobody who's really involved with this shit is going to ever speak on this shit. Because you
Right.
got murder. You got drug trafficking. You got assaults. You got fights. You got a lot of animosity, death, and destruction that took place amongst these three groups of MCs, and it all stemmed from the streets. So I was comfortable with dying, knowing that I would never know the origins of this shit. Even though I'm cool with the East Side Cheddar Boys, bro. I'm cool with ToughTone to this very day. Lil Baby, the real Lil Baby, Joey to this very day. Tax Holloway to this very day. 42 Cheese, who was 42 Doug's homeboy, Cheese daddy is wipe out. Cheese every day if I wanted to. If he's in the city, if I'm in the city. Cheese is a part of Eastside CHEDDARboyz. So when Jesse made his proclamation on Instagram expressing his interest of wanting to be interviewed, he knew he had to say some shit because nigga, you ain't lit, you ain't turned, nigga. Your days of fame and infamy when it comes to music, that shit gone. You don't have no space in this modern culture except for a
Right.
historical book on the shelf ass thing. You hear me? He knew he had to come with the heat when he came with this motherfucking request to be interviewed, my nigga.
Yeah.
Right? He knew he had to do that. You hear me? And I see people put Royce and 5ix9ine in here and all that, bro. Royce, Eminem, legends. There's a bunch of legends who made up the landscape of city of Detroit. We talking about the streets, though. Royce
Yeah.
ain't no street nigga. You know what I'm saying? I ain't saying he originally from Joy Road and he exited that and migrated to Oak Park. Right? Niggas knocked him for that. They knocked him in.
Now he'll say that he's not no street nigga.
Yeah,
He'll say,
but listen, hey, man, being a street nigga and it has been overrated for him since the time of the streets. Only a fool, but Royce used to get knocked and criticized because his people were fortunate enough and financially able enough to take the niggas from,
yeah, from
right?
that bullshit.
I
Yeah.
have I run in with Royce, my nigga, but with truth is truth. Nigga, I wish my mama could have put me in Oak Park or Southfield back in 85, 86. Ooh, you gotta be a fool to not have wish you could have had this situation.
Right.
And that's why when street niggas get some money, the first thing they did when they got some money was move to Oak Park, Southfield, Bloomfield, Auburn Hills, Rochester, deep ass Dearborn, Canton. So that's proof that it ain't no knock. But niggas in Detroit who really got the hood mentality, they look at it, if you from there, you a soft ass nigga. You ain't no real nigga. You ain't no
Right.
gut ass nigga. You can't beat your chest ass stupid. You know how cause we niggas, bro. So we have
Yeah.
niggerly mentalities, you feel me?
Yeah.
So when Jesse made the proclamation, I didn't even see it. I don't follow him, bro. And my
Okay.
Instagram page is banging so hard. This is my third Instagram page in a year. So my little 10,000 followers I got them, you know, in May, starting in May or June, right? So even though my numbers are low, niggas know who I am in the city of Detroit, bro. My shit be banging. So
Right.
he tagged, when he made his proclamation about wanting to be interviewed, expressed his interest, and he listed, I'm gonna talk about who slammed Backdoor Blade, who backdoor Wipeout. I'm gonna talk about the true history of CHEDDARboyz, where the name came from, how we was getting this dope money, $7 million every 2 weeks. That's all the shit that everybody's been dying to know.
Yeah.
He knew that.
Yeah.
Listen, my nigga. I'm gonna send you some shit from my phone, right? Jesse James, he listed, I think he tagged 10, 15 motherfucking podcasters from across the country.
They did.
He did, right?
Yeah.
I think me, myself, and Kid L were probably the only 2 podcasters in Detroit that he tagged, right? People was calling me because I ain't see this shit because I don't follow him, bro. And when
Right.
I open up my Instagram, my shit be 100 likes. The max likes is 100 you can get. My shit be on that, right?
Yeah.
So I didn't see it. You know what I'm saying? People start DMing. You see what Jesse James said? Like, no, they start sending me shit. So I see this shit. So I instantly recognized that the subject matters that he was willing to talk about, that's history, bro.
That's fire. Yeah.
That's fire. And if
Yeah.
you a content creator, if you can
Jackpot.
listen, my nigga,
Jackpot.
listen. That you know how you pull that in the casino, you pull that motherfucking arm, nigga, that's all bing bing on the nigga that slot machine.
Cha-ching.
Right?
Cha-ching. Yeah.
Yeah. So I recognized it, but I didn't instantly bite on it, my nigga. Excuse me, brother. I didn't instantly bite on it because I recognized how dangerous those
Topics.
topics were.
Right.
And I've been down here since 86. And for motherfuckers who say, well, damn, dog, you was in prison when all this shit jumped off between the Eastside CHEDDARboyz and Rock Bottom. Nigga, don't you niggas know that inside the prison system, when the CHEDDARboyz when the Eastside CHEDDARboyz went to war with the street lords, it was East Side, West Side shit. That shit didn't just affect the streets, nigga. That
Yeah, it's
shit,
all in the
that shit
institutions.
was in
Yeah,
the prison system. Nigga, I was in level 4, level 5.
yeah,
With niggas who ain't never coming home. Never.
yeah,
Man,
yeah,
niggas was in prison stabbing each other. It was a war in prison for these stupid ass niggas who don't know shit about history. So this shit didn't just happen in a bubble out here in the street. That shit reverberated inside the prison system. Because who in the fuck you think inside the MDOC? East Side, West Side niggas.
yeah. The
The
same nigga.
majority,
Yeah,
yeah, niggas. So niggas was in prison stabbing each other, beat niggas up over who gonna ride with who. You ride with the Cheddar Boys, nigga, or you ride with Street Lords. That was it was like Biggie versus Pac, nigga.
yeah,
Niggas was getting stabbed in the face in that bitch. Niggas was getting stabbed, niggas was getting beat up and thrown over the gallery in Jackson. Second story, niggas would picking niggas up and throwing niggas over the gallery in Jackson, my nigga. Niggas was at MR and Gladiator School stabbing each other about East Side, West Side, about some
yeah,
shit that we ain't got nothing to goddamn do with.
yeah,
So when
yeah.
niggas talking about, oh, but you ain't funny yet. I can't tell you eat a dick enough, right? When nigga talk about, oh, you was locked up. Nigga, do you think you ask any nigga who was in prison when that shit exploded? Niggas in the joint, they hear shit first, bro.
First, every
We
detail.
get the news faster than some niggas in the street do. So niggas in prison getting their motherfucking shit rocked, cranium cracked. Seeing niggas get stabbed in the eye, a nigga pull a nigga, stab a nigga in the face, and pull a nigga eye out the socket over the beef between the Cheddar Boys, Eastside Cheddar Boys, and Street Lords, nigga. Then when you sprinkle in the rock bottom, niggas, nigga, come on, bro. Come on, my nigga. So listen, niggas in the penitentiary, it was rock bottom and Eastside Cheddar Boy fans versus Street Lords in
Yeah,
prison.
family
See,
and friends.
niggas
Yeah,
don't know that because we was like the enemy of your enemy is our enemy, nigga.
yeah.
So we was
That's
fucking
how it
with
go.
my nigga. This is no diss to Dexter Linwood, but Dexter Linwood niggas. That's historically speaking. Dexter Linwood. That's the beginning and origin of YBI. Them Dexter Linwood niggas is grimy and fuck, just like Eastside niggas. 7 Mile. When I was got to Detroit, bro, in '86, 7 Mile was still nice. 7 Miles when you went east and west 7 Mile in '86 was still when you went to get you a nice wavy head bitch who mama's a nurse or working a plant. I don't know what the fuck these niggas talk about. Niggas in prison stabbing each other, but I'm sorry for going off on my tangent. You know,
Nah, man, do your thing.
I'm easily
Do your thing.
excited. You hear me? So listen,
Right.
bro. When Jesse said what he said, I recognize that shit is like, wow. And as a content creator, did I want that? Right? But the first time my man RJ Watkins Jr. called me like, dog, you see that shit with Jesse? He said it to me. I'm like, man, I ain't fucking with that shit, RJ. You know what I'm saying? I ain't finna, because I know,
It's trouble.
you know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Because like, nigga, you a content creator, nigga. You ain't no gangster no more. You better, nigga, it don't get no more epic than that. You better get that shit. So I'm like, man, I thought about that shit, bro. I went all day, right? Here is what happened. Jesse James is originally from the East Side. But he grew up and he became Jesse James on Exit 9, Joy Road. Same place KD and rest of them Joy Road Exit 9 niggas from, right?
Right.
So that's where he from, right? But he has East Side origins too. So if you watch the interview, you heard him say that in his mind, because of his East Side origins, he's the one who brought what became known as the East Side Cheddar Boys together with the Street Lord Cheddar Boy version, right?
Right.
He articulated the fact that Wipeout didn't have a name for his rap group on the East Side. And Jesse was like, man, so it's Street Lord Cheddar Boys. Cheddar Boys like this nigga, our flossing name. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? We get that paper, right?
It's
So
lingo.
Jesse
Yeah.
told Wipeout, man, call them the East Side Cheddar Boys. It's all love. And Wipeout was like, nah, bro, because it was already some hating type shit going on because of the rise and level of popularity the Eastside cheddarboyz that y'all dropping. Because just like he said, with a 4-year gap between albums, so the streets was right. You had rock bottom, but on the east side, we ain't had nobody. And let me tell you something, my nigga. If you from the east side of Detroit, you ain't finna listen to no nigga holler Joy Rose and West 7 Mile and Fecal and Puritan, yeah, all goddamn day. That's against east side protocol, bro. So the east side was always hungry for our own representation on a grand scale, bro. If you from my nigga, you ain't gonna right now to this day. Now Blade Icewood kind of like he was the whole city loved him, bro. But my nigga, if you was stumped, it's like a nigga being from 4-1, listening to a nigga holler about he from East Warren all day. The bitches will talk about you. Like, get out the nigga's dick. Detroit is that kind of city, my nigga. It ain't no we all in the same game. That whole shit about Detroit versus everybody, that ain't never been true, bro. You know it ain't true? You know it ain't true? Let me tell you why I know it ain't true. How can we pinpoint that shit not true? Rock bottom against street lords. Street lords against Eastside cheddarboyz. If they would have came together and had a meeting of the minds, Detroit's overall music, hip hop, or success from it could have been a lot further, a lot faster. But niggas was in their own bag. It was like, fuck you niggas. By their own admission, the street lords knew they was the kings. They was arrogant. By their own admissions in previous interviews, we wasn't fucking with them niggas. It's us against everybody. In Detroit, the streets, it's always been Detroit, it's us against them. There ain't never been no shit like LA. Like, it's gangs now in Detroit. Crips, Bloods, all this sort of shit, right? My nigga, even now, you have some niggas, bro, let me tell you something, bro. Detroit has always been about us versus them. If you ain't down with us, it's fuck you. It's always been about, we've been bragging about fucking another nigga bitches long before rap popularized fucking another nigga bitches. In Detroit, it was a status symbol if we could knock our out, bitch. And they ain't got to be our ops, but if they ain't our crew, we fucking they hoes. To humiliate them niggas, to let the niggas know, nigga, you niggas ain't laying like us. It's always been that way, bro. So back to my motherfucking story. Sorry, Feuds be getting excited again. So when he said that shit, I ain't fucking with that shit, bro, because I know how, because I'm not thinking that he's finna talk about that shit. Because in order for you to articulate that shit, you're gonna have to tell on some shit, my nigga. You're gonna have to tell. In order for you to talk about who backdoor Blade, who backdoor Wipeout, nigga, those are crimes. So if you gonna tell a motherfucker who did it, nigga, I never thought that he was gonna do no shit like that. Because, nigga, in order for you to tell what really happened, you're going to have to tell, snitch, provide material information. I never thought he was serious, my nigga. Never.
Facts.
So I was like, man, the reason why I didn't bite down on that shit, good brother, was because I said, nigga ain't finna get on there and talk about no shit like that. He ain't do no shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Because nobody had, I said, omerta. That's an Italian shit.
Code
for silence, right? Right? So no member of what I thought. I'm thinking, I didn't know that motherfuckers did interviews 5-6 years ago talking about who shot J.R. Ewing. I didn't know that. So I'm thinking, because I didn't see that shit, right? So I thought, well, if Jesse comes out and tell these stories, he's going to be the first one to break the code of silence between street lords, the Eastside cheddarboyz, and rock bottom. I'm thinking that he would be the first. I didn't know that Street Lord G-Rock had been talking about who shot who and giving details about what the fuck going on years ago.
Right.
So the shit that niggas eventually criticized Jesse for, Street Lord G-Rock get that shit 5-6 years ago. Right? So listen. So when we got in contact with each other through DM. So the first thing I said to brother, he like, man, I know who you is. All my Joy Road niggas say the only nigga in Detroit qualified to interview me would be Dogface. So, because I'm lacking in credibility. his own Exit 9 Joy Road homeboys said the
Co-sign.
only nigga who will, man, nigga, niggas scared to interview that nigga, bro, because they scared of Juan. They scared of them niggas. They knew what nobody in Detroit gonna bang that shit, bro, because they don't want to run afoul of the long arm of the motherfucking street lord Juanita. So when I decided to do it, not for 1 second did I think that a motherfucker was gonna try to attack me because I interviewed the nigga, right? So listen, we get in contact with each other. I tell him, I say, I'm gonna send you proof. I said, well, I'll pay for interviews. Me talking to Jesse through
Yeah.
DM.
Yeah.
I'm gonna send you the DM so you can post them. You can put them in here, right here, timestamp. 25, 20, 26 minutes. I'm gonna pay for interviews, my nigga. Just what I tell you. Through DM, through text. I said, but what I will do is I'll interview you, bro. And I said, I got the most lit platform in Detroit. I'm representing Detroit, but I got national content. I don't talk about Detroit shit. I had stopped talking about Detroit shit when coming out the Royce 5'9" situation. Because my whole thing is, it's plenty of content worldwide that has to do with urban hip hop culture and entertainment that I can talk about. I don't have to eat my own city up. You feel
Right.
what I'm saying? If
Fuck
somebody
being
do some whole,
local. Fuck being
yeah,
local. Yeah.
because that shit ain't gonna get me nowhere. I'm on
Yeah.
the quest of taking this shit on a grand scale. So
Yeah.
I'm not finna talk about. You don't really have many stories here. Inside of Eminem and Big Sean and this, and now we got the success. But as far as shit that the world would be interested in outside of these rappers, you don't have much exciting shit to talk about. They stars, they got chains, they got cars, they got houses. I get it, right? So listen. I said, my nigga, I don't pay for interviews. I get paid to get interviewed. Niggas pay me to interview them. And
Yeah.
I get paid to do interviews, right?
Absolutely. Hell yeah.
I have sponsors paying me to advertise their products on my shit. I ain't paying you. Even though I recognize how much of a powerful story this is, I'm not paying you, bro. So he said, man, I said, but what I can do, because I understand. Because I heard it in his voice that because he said, I want tap in, get that check right. Had that money on the flow. We cash that ready. You know how they say, right? So I already know where he's going. I'm like, bro, I'm telling my bail. I don't pay for no interviews, my nigga. But what I will do is, I'll interview you. I won't tell nobody that I didn't pay you. And because of how visible I am in the city of Detroit and in other parts of the country, that's going to inspire other people to possibly pay you. And I said, and above beyond that, I'm an executive producer of podcasts as well. So what I said, well, I'll create a podcast for you, bro. You know what I'm saying? Since you obviously on hard times, because if you telling this story, bro, it's got
Desperate.
to be motivated by
Desperation.
money and
Yeah.
desperation. I
Yeah.
peep it. I don't talk to them. You know, you got to qualify niggas when you talk to them. You
Yeah.
feel me?
Yeah.
So listen, I said, what I do is, bro, what we can do to get you some revenue coming in. I said, you got a YouTube page? He said, yeah. I said, is it already monetized? He said, it's already monetized. I said, well, what I do is that I'll executive produce a podcast for you that you can upload to your YouTube channel and start to generate revenue because it's paying to generate no revenue. You
Yeah.
can have a monetized page and not generate no revenue because you ain't got no content. You uploading the motherfucker.
Gotta meet the threshold.
Right. And I said that because you are Jesse James and you were a polarizing figure and you are a part of you are a day one or day 1.5 street lord nigga. You can draw some curiosity and interest. You can interview people. You can talk about shit and you have a wealth of knowledge and experience because you were there, right? I said, I'll do a podcast for you. The first name was going to be Street Lord Jesse James Live Podcast. But I said, no, we're going to call that shit the Wild Wild West Podcast featuring Jesse James. He said, man, you serious, bro?
That's
I said,
nice.
yeah, I'm serious. I said, hold on. I clicked over, call my man, Elite Media. I said, send me a picture, Jesse. He sent me a picture. I sent it to my man. My man made a flyer. Bam, instantly. Wild Wild West Podcast that you saw on his page. That came
Yeah.
from my man. I
Yeah.
paid for it or with. So he said, man, I can't get no bread. I'm like, no, niggas, I'm already to put you in the game. You can charge niggas for interviews. You Jesse James.
Yeah.
You can go get paid. You can get paid front door and back door
Yeah.
on this shit, right? He said, bet. He said, you ain't gonna cross me. So what I did was I brought him on to my platform when I use my video digital workspace that I use to do my content. I brought him on so he can see from the inside of my program how I can do it and how easy it is for me to do it.
Yeah.
He said, okay. I said, bro, it takes nothing to do that for you, bro. Have you an hour, a weekly show. You can come up with your 8, 9 good subjects. You can talk about them, commentate on them. Academics, go study this shit for real. And come back with your content and you can interview motherfuckers, right? He said, bet. The next day, he called me and like, when you gonna do the interview? Because I was running around, right? I had the Blue Da Vinci interview that I had coming up. So I wasn't really even focused on that because to me, Blue was more of a national figure. So I was focused on that, right? So he called me the next day. He was really interested in it, right? He said, man, can you send me, I ain't got no bricks. Can I get something? Can you send me a couple of hundred? I need a haircut and a shave. He was looking bad.
Yeah.
He lived down in Florida, right? Right? So I cashed after him. I cashed after him $100 so he can go get a haircut and go get a shave, my nigga. Because he was fucked up. He said, bet. He went, got a haircut. He called me back later on that night, about 8:30 at night. I talked to this man for 2.5 hours on the phone prior to sending him my link and him coming online and we doing the interview, bro.
Right.
Hey, listen, brother. Gully. He was prepared to go nuclear. He was prepared to tell those stories off bail, like everything. He's prepared to just go all the way out and tell shit it wasn't just clickbait, my nigga, like he said it was.
Yeah.
Because he told me who killed Blade. He told me about who did what. He put in proper perspective to me where Drake Carter fit in, where Lil Larry fit in, where Blade fit into his own demise. He told me what Juan did, who knew what. He told me about how niggas was. He told me about what G-Rock did and all that. He telling me all this, bro. So when he telling me all this shit, this is 2.5. I'm talking to this nigga before I press go. So I'm like, hell no. I said, hell no, bro. He was all set to go nuclear. He was all set to say it wasn't just clickbait. I told him to say clickbait, to justify why you said what you said. I prepped him for the interview, bro.
Yeah.
Nigga ain't that smart. I prepped him 2.5 hours. I told that nigga, I think I'm gonna see you then. I said my total log, bro. It was like 2 hours, almost 2 hours and 45 minutes before I record the interview. I'm talking to him. Like, no, Jesse. I'm explaining to him the YouTube algorithm. I'm explaining to him how to work, how to increase his subscribership. I'm explaining to him how to navigate and connect. I'm talking to him about connectivity. How to probably utilize his Instagram, create a Snapchat, do all that shit, interface him so you can broadcast, and we call them destinations. When you do your podcast, you want every destination possible.
Yeah.
You want Patreon, you want Discord, you want, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm learning about Patreon, Discord myself, so I just went to Patreon with my more salacious material, right?
Yeah.
So we're going to do all that, because
Salacious.
Patreon gets you that bag.
Yeah.
Oh, bail. Ain't like YouTube.
X-rated.
Yeah,
X-rated.
you can go X-rated. Ain't no censorship, right?
Yeah.
He was all set to go nuclear, nigga. So niggas in Detroit mad at me. Y'all niggas need to be glad I got that goddamn interview. Because if a national nigga would have got it, they would have let him just do all that rap.
Yeah.
You ought to be glad. Oh, the Dogface ain't got no connection to the culture. I have enough connection to the culture that I knew the shit he's gonna do was gonna be destructive and catastrophic.
Detrimental. Yeah.
Yeah. So when nigga talk about, well, he don't know about no, I have enough experience. I have enough history in this city to know that. You don't believe me? Nigga, I talked to Helliver and RJ Watkins Jr. And I told them what this nigga was gonna do. And they're like, bro, you can't let no out of town nigga get that interview. Because if that nigga go nuclear like that, niggas going to prison. Niggas going to prison. I swear to God on you, bro. Watkins Jr. told me, nigga, you better not let no nigga get that nigga, because if they do, that nigga's going to jail. So I'm talking this nigga down.
Right.
I said, no. He's like, man, fuck the nigga. The nigga doing movies, getting money, but he was in his feelings. So I said, okay, I thought you was in your feelings when you did the YouTube rant. I mean, the Instagram rant.
Yeah.
But now I know he's feeling some kind of way because he think these niggas all getting money and they doing movies. Rook doing movies. Juan doing the Juan thing. G-Rock moving how G-Rock move. Everybody's successful and doing their own little thug dizzle. This nigga is coming down emotional, not psychological, not mental illness. This nigga coming down emotional. Emotional. I'ma let you. So I'm like, oh no, this nigga gave the Holy Ghost up. This nigga, I'm like, oh no, nigga. I swear to you, bro. When this shit go up, RJ Watkins Jr. gonna comment, nigga. I talked to Helliver and RJ.
Right.
And Helliver was like, man, don't interview that nigga, bro. He talking that kind of shit. No. RJ Watkins like, nigga, you a content creator. Get that interview. And then when I told him what the conversation was gonna be about, I'm texting these niggas while I'm talking to him. Like, this nigga, I'm gonna send you all that to prove what I point.
Right.
This nigga turned. That's why when I say go nuclear, nigga, that's what I'm talking about. If the niggas, listen, you bitch ass niggas in Detroit who got a problem with me, y'all ought to be happy that I got it. And so for all you niggas talking about, oh, he ain't from Detroit, nigga. If somebody else would have got that interview, bro, he would have told everything, and they would have paid him for it. They would not have talked him down because they wanted him to be as controversial,
No
as
censorship.
possible.
Yeah.
Niggas from Detroit need to be fucking praising me, bro. So all these bitch ass hating, broke bitch ass, broke ass niggas, you ought to be happy I got the fucking interview, bro. Because if one of them out of town niggas would have got it, they would have allowed. They don't understand what this nigga finna do.
Yeah.
They don't understand, bro. I just know, nigga. We ain't gonna talk about that, nigga. Because this is how it's gonna come across. I'm telling you, if you say this, it's how it's gonna come across. If you say this, this is how it's gonna come across. Like, yeah, you right, bro, you right, you smart with this shit. That's what he telling me. You smart with this shit, bro.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Listen, bro, Gully. So I said, I'm gonna ask you about when you said who backdoor Blade and who backdoor Wipeout, right? I'm going to ask you about the shit, and you're going to say it was clickbait. Once you say it's clickbait, that's going because you made some wild ass motherfucking statements on it.
Okay, so that's why he backed down. You told him, say, yeah, there was some bullshit.
That's why he backed down with me on my part. He didn't say nobody killed nobody on my during our interview. See, niggas don't know how to look at shit from a chronological, intellectual standpoint. Or Dogface let him say nigga read it, police ass shit. He didn't do that on my podcast, bro. The sparring between him and Street Lord Juan had already started before I interviewed the nigga. So he was already mad because Juan was already poking at him. Anyway, Juan put like a little video montage up on his page where he had Saucy Santana. It's still up right now. So, niggas, my story ain't for sale. Nigga, I'm blah, 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 blah. At the beginning of that video on Juan page, go look right now. The first 3 seconds is Jesse.
Yeah.
Voice. So Jesse's like, oh, nigga, you trying to, I've been recording that song. You being disingenuous and being dishonest. And that shows you the level of manipulation that this bitch ass nigga Street Lord Juan be doing. You know what I'm saying? He's a master at throwing his rock, throwing a rock. This nigga be throwing bricks. Had in his hand.
Right.
He's a master of that. Right? So that's what set Jesse off. So before I could even interview Jesse, he was already on tip because Juan had put that thing up. Right? Chronological order. Jesse put up, I'm willing to be interviewed and I'm willing to talk about XYZ. The next day, he put up another motherfucking clip that says, bitch ass nigga calling my phone, talking about like I'm gonna tell something and expose something. I ain't like blah blah blah. Niggas called me. Niggas ain't been calling me. Don't call me now because niggas was concerned about what he said he was gonna say on the podcast. So niggas was calling me who ain't like, and so he like, nah, I ain't fuck with you, nigga. Fuck you. I'm getting my money, right? That's what happened. First day he that. Second day that. The next day, Juan dropped a little video shit. Oh, I've been recording that song. Yeah, but that's not no video, nigga. That's not the video to that song with that verse you been recorded, nigga. You create that whole little video montage and then put that nigga in front of it and start throwing subliminals like you always do. Bitch ass nigga. So Jesse felt some kind of way. He called me. Dog, you see this? I don't follow Juan, bro. So I like, nah. He sent it to me. I look. I said, oh, okay. I said, well, no, I didn't catch it at first. He said, nigga, go to the very beginning. That's my voice. So I went, I said, oh, yeah, nigga trying to dig at me. Fuck that whole ass nigga. That's what Jesse coming down with.
Yeah.
I said, okay, man. But we still gonna follow the game plan, right? This was before I even had the 2-hour conversation with him. 2.5, 40-minute conversation, right? So I talked to him when I see that, I talked to him that night, right before the interview for 2.5 hours, where I said, listen, man, fuck all that. We're gonna stick to the script. You know what I'm saying? Don't be trying to go, no. I said, he will tell you. I said, nigga, you ain't finna go nuclear on my show. I understand, I'm still it. I'm street nigga. I like QCT, where, because I ain't in the street no more, I still have to prescribe to the game, to the rules that govern the game, even though I'm not in the street no more.
Right.
I still gonna be judged if I do some whole shit because I was in the street and I know how shit supposed to go and how shit ain't supposed to go. I know better.
Yeah.
So even though I'm not in the street at all, I still know we can't do that. You hear me? So listen. We do the interview. Hey, Gully, did you watch the interview with my interview with Jesse James?
I did.
The worst thing that I asked you, I said, man, you said in your long soliloquy on Instagram that that Jesse James, I mean that the street that what's the
Juan.
nigga thing? No. Blade Icewood and Wipeout got backdoored. I said, brother, you know what backdoor mean? I say, you can't be, that's street vernacular, nigga. You can't get backdoored by your ops. Your ops gonna come get that ass.
Yeah.
Ain't no backdooring your ops, nigga. Right? I said, you can only be backdoored by somebody close to you. Family, friends, somebody in your inner circle. You do realize what you mean, what you're conveying to the world when you say you got backdoor. I said, so you said that I get my notes out. I said, now you said, I took notes. I'm a student of this shit. I said, now you said that Blade Icewood wipe out that back door. Are you still standing on that? He said, absolutely, they absolutely did. That's as far as it went. I didn't make any further inquiries. I didn't ask him who. It's on the record, my nigga.
Yeah.
I didn't touch it no more. Right? And then when he went to talk about the man was just clickbait, blah, blah, blah. I gave him the click. That nigga ain't intelligent enough to come up with that. I gave him the clickbait. Motherfucker, you gonna say it's clickbait, nigga. Cause you ain't finna go nuclear on with me with this type of no, nigga, no.
Right.
So listen, bro. We do the interview. He called Juan a bitch ass nigga. He had already said that shit on his Instagram post in response to Juan, right? After the interview, Juan up paperwork on me. Said he had a 5K1 about some shit in 2005, 19 years ago. I didn't see it because I don't follow Juan.
Yeah.
My phone started going crazy. Juan responded. Because Jesse James said during the interview, and before the interview, on the interview, that because he thought the first video that Juan put up was him insinuating that he was a rat. Told on somebody. This is before Juan actually upped that 5K1 shit, right? Because the whole video montage he did was like something about some rat police, cars getting shot up, shit like that, right? So he took that as if he trying to say I'm a rat. So he responded on Instagram, I ain't no nigga paperwork. And if a nigga can prove it, I'll shoot my shit on Instagram or whatever, social media, right? So I said, so we get on that. So he reiterated that. He said, man, nigga, bitch ass nigga, blah, 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 blah. That was it, bro. As far as niggas waiting on something salacious. If you watch my interview, it was an hour and 45 minutes, brother. It was about historical shit that niggas wanted to know. What started this? What happened? I think the most telling, the most revealing aspect of my motherfucking interview with him is when I asked him what was the origin of the beef between Street Lord Cheddarboyz and Eastside Cheddarboyz. And he said jealousy and envy. Because the Street Lords felt like the Eastside niggas who they put down was taking shine from them. And all of the Street Lords have been in interviews for years talking about how arrogant they was back then. So it's reasonable to make a conclusion or to sustain that, yeah, what Jesse said was true about y'all being jealous. Because when the Eastside Cheddarboyz dropped, that shit went crazy. Oh boy, and all the rest of that shit went crazy. The whole city was on them dusty, dirty Eastside niggas' dicks. All the bitches that was loving the Street Lords, despite the fact they had more money, they still want to be around them gorilla-ass, monkey-ass Eastside niggas. Them dusty, dirty-ass, shit-talking ass, ain't got no grass in the front yard ass niggas.
Right.
They couldn't understand, right? And something else you don't know. The beef between, I asked him about this, off record. What was the beef between Blade and ToughTone? What happened? Because Blade made a song basically calling Tough out for running off. ToughTone did not run off with Blade's weed, 5 bowls, 10 bowls. Blade Icewood, this is a true story, bro. And I don't think it's ever been said before. Oh no, I'm finna give you some details. Jesse confirmed it, and ToughTone been told me this shit. Bro, I love Blade, bro. Me and Blade didn't have no beef. Whenever Blade and them would get into some shit, they would call them Eastside niggas who was known as gorillas. Right? Because they represent West Side now, Southfield, West Side type shit. So whenever they would get, because Street Lords had issues with other niggas, not just the Eastside Cheddarboyz.
Right.
And who best to call than the niggas from the Eastside who don't none of these West Side niggas know
to deal with them? Yeah. Yeah.
The issue between Blade Icewood and ToughTone was that they was fucking the same bitch, bro.
All the time.
They was fucking on the same bitch. And when Blade found out that Tough was fucking the same bitch that he was fucking with, Blade Icewood told that bitch, are you fucking with him? He works for me. Nigga ain't got no money. Nigga work for me. He owe me money right now. The bitch ran back and told Tough what nigga Blade said. Tough responded like, bitch, go on, hit on, bitch. Tough gamed up. Bitch, you trying to rock the boat this weak shit. Bitch, you fuck both of us. That's what it is, ho. Bitch, well, I don't give a fuck if you fucking him. One thing about Eastside, nigga, we ain't finna, what, bitch, we know what it is for the most part with my generation. These new tender dick niggas is a whole other story, right? But, so, the bitch, ToughTone over the bitch house. The bitch, she called Blade. And she's like, Blade, guess what? This nigga Tough, I told him I ain't fucking with him, blah, blah, blah. It's like, yeah, nigga, bum, fuck that whole ass nigga. So Tough hearing it from himself. So Tough got some shit on consignment now from Blade. So Tough say, you know what, bro?
Keeping that.
For that weak ass shit you just did about this bitch, we supposed to be family, I'm keeping that.
Keeping that, yeah.
That's what happened. That's a 100% fact. But see, niggas don't want to tell the story because nigga Juan know what the issue was between Tough and Blade. G-Rock know what the issue between Tough and Blade. But if you tell that story, it makes the Eastside niggas look realer and make Blade, that's like a cheat on Blade's character armor.
Yeah.
But that's where it came from, my nigga. So fast forward, right? I interview him. When I interview him, if you watch the interview, anybody watch the interview, I was responsible for the interview. No niggas is gonna say, well, you don't like Juan because the whole gatekeeper conversation when y'all had a dispute about the gatekeeper with the gatekeeper power player list that Big D word up to my brother Big D Mo, rest in peace, Mocha State of Mind, he put out. So you got some animosity against Juan for that. I made sure that it didn't come across that. As an interviewer who's been doing this shit over a decade, I made sure that it was no signs of biasness or vitriol on my part towards Blade, no Royce the 5'9", no none of that shit. I kept it gully. I asked him about Royce the 5'9", and he talked about how influential Royce was and how great of an MC he was. Nigga, I got editing. I got Final Cut on my shit. I could have edited that shit out so as not to give them niggas no big up and no kudos. I didn't do no weak ass pussy shit like that. I left it up and left it raw. After the interview was over with, I pushed the interview up. It wasn't no explosion. It was like, oh, it's just it's because they ain't heard from him. They ain't seen him. And he's officially, what I thought at the time was the first member of either the Rock Bottom crew, the streetlordz, or Eastside CHEDDARboyz to do an interview. I didn't know niggas had been doing interviews talking about this kind of shit until somebody sent me that shit a couple days ago. Listen, brother, this Dawgface TV shit and got so big, as you already know how this shit can be. When you doing stories on motherfuckers, man, you have niggas from Alaska sending you shit.
Yeah.
You got, man, I got niggas from Italy. Listen, in Europe, they students of this hip hop shit.
Good information.
Good information. Man, I got nigga, I know who shot who did what the police officer name on the police report. Them Europeans, some bad motherfuckers when it comes to research, bro.
Yeah.
You got niggas in China using voice translators to tell me, shit, look at this, look at this, look at this. We love you, Dogface. We love you, Dogface. Bro, I went from 725 subscribers in November of last year to almost 60,000 in 1 year. Without no major cosign, bro.
Yeah.
This my fuck
big
nigga
league.
files. I got niggas from Zimbabwe telling me to give niggas fuck nigga files.
So you been doing that fuck nigga file thing?
No, I started this shit with the whole Big D from Most State of Mind, right?
Okay.
Most State of Mind. So Big D is from Detroit, right? He went to college to play football, went to the NFL. He retired in Dallas because he's already in Dallas, bro.
Okay.
Big D had a relationship with Sean Cotton to Say Cheese before Sean Cotton even started Say Cheese, right? When Sean Cotton got overlooked, when they had the most powerful blogs, when they about a couple of years ago, get overlooked because they knew Say Cheese, but they didn't know a face. So Sean Cotton started doing interviews himself in front of the camera.
Yeah.
Because they knew the voice, but they didn't know a face. Because he was mad because they overlooked him as the most powerful YouTube platforms, blog type shit, right? Big D was the first one to interview Sean Cotton, and Sean Cotton allowed Big D to put it on Most State of Mind, which is his YouTube channel, and was helping him grow his channel because Sean Cotton made millions of dollars off YouTube and sponsorships and shit a year. So he tried to help the nigga who believed in him when he first started by helping Big D start Most State of Mind YouTube channel. So Big D said, I'm gonna help you, Dogface. Well, he said, listen, brother, this why I'm so emotional about the whole Juan attacking Most State of Mind shit, right? In my career in the music business and entertainment business, bro, very rarely will niggas give you usable information that you can use to make money off of, bro. Niggas gonna hide it or charge you. The brother he put me on the phone with Sean Cotton, and him and Sean Cotton told me what to do, what to stay away from. And they explained to me the algorithm of YouTube. And Sean Cotton told me, he said, bro, the average motherfucker on YouTube, they are 4 or 5 years behind the curve. I'm in front of the curve. He told me that motherfuckers on YouTube chase interviews, but most athletes and entertainers are not interesting, bro. Right? He explained to me why motherfuckers like Charleston White became so popular, a lightning rod, and why Lil Boosie is so popular on Vlad TV, because Lil Boosie would say shit that the average ordinary MC ain't gonna say because they don't want to have no bad blood and they don't want to have no beef with the nigga. So Lil Boosie is so popular and Vlad paid him so much money because Boosie would say, oh yeah, you a rat. You a rat. You this, he that. Yeah, he this, he. Rallo, you a rat. Austin Richard, you a rat. 6ix9ine rat. The niggas from Hove. He don't mind talking. The average rapper, bro, you know, is gonna say no comment. Don't ask me that shit. So Sean Cotton like, bro, you build your platform based on your character, based on your personality, right? He sent him some old interviews and some old shit I did from 10 years ago. He said, bro, your strong suit gonna be going the academics route. It's gonna be unpopular. Because academics right now, he can't go nowhere, bro. You know what I'm saying? Because niggas still mad at him about the Chicago niggas still mad at academics. Right there, they hurt that boy, bro.
Yeah.
Or at least try to.
Yeah.
So he's like, bro, you're gonna put yourself in a. You say you're gonna be unpopular, but you're gonna get further and faster by giving your opinion. It's a difference between you and most YouTubers, bro. You in the entertainment business in Detroit. You've been in prison. You've been on gangster time in the street. You're a successful businessman above and beyond that. You came home from prison and built and put your life back together, became successful. And you've been around. You traveled around the country, so you have a wealth of knowledge that the average YouTuber don't got. The average YouTuber can't do shit but talk about they ain't never there. And you a DJ. Every major concert that happened in Detroit last year, I'm one of the house DJs. The biggest concert and party promoters in Detroit, my mans. When Boss Man D-Lo came to Detroit, and Babyface Ray and 42 Doug and Poncho and Shane Park and Richard Franklin, everybody saw me on stage as one of the main house DJs. Me, Flex Live, Doug Tour DJ, DJ Carter, shout out to them boys. We on stage, rocking, in front of a sold-out show. Detroit Riverfront Festival. Riverfront Festival. Shout out to D. Reed, Twins, Smoke. I'm on stage. The main day, Sunday. I'm on stage in front of a sold-out 13,000 people in Hart Plaza. So, bro, to go back to my point, when Juan upped that paperwork, I talked to Jesse. I said, bro, you need to rebut this. We're gonna do a part 2 so you can come on rebut this. He said, bet. He nervous. This is before he even went nuclear on Juan call, saying Juan. He was emotional, bro, when he told that story. He was emotional when he told that story. So, but he wasn't supposed to do that. He was supposed to do a part 2 of our interview where he can address Juan specifically. The Blue Da Vinci interview came down the pipe for me. When that happened, I said, because it came out of nowhere, my guy. So I said, bro, I'm finna interview Blue Da Vinci. You got to hold up, my guy. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna interview you part 2 of this shit. You chance to respond to Juan at 11:30. He said, bet. I interviewed Blue Da Vinci. When I got done with Blue, I called him, but before I can call him, my phone blowing up again. He jumped in his feelings bag and went nuclear on his Instagram. He didn't say that shit on my interview. What these dumbass niggas don't understand. He did that shit on his Instagram page. I would have never allowed him to accuse a nigga of no murder on my motherfucking platform, bro, where I come from. So that's what it was.